Hey guys, this is Sukanya Rana, and today in this video, we'll be discussing some things about your mains preparation, and especially we'll be targeting your mains for 2023. So, if you're somebody who's just starting with your preparation or 2023 is your target, then I think this video is very important for you. And some of the programs that Civils Daily is introducing for your mains preparation, and I would seriously recommend for you to consider them. Now, I am Sukanya Rana. I head the mains program at Civils Daily. You can get a lot of my details if you go to Civils Daily site. I have also been their core faculty for ethics. So that is about me. And if you join the program, surely we'll get connected. So, in this video, we'll first discuss some important details about mains, and then we'll be talking about the program that Civils Daily is introducing so that you get a holistic idea of what our objective, what our basic idea behind the mains preparation at Civils Daily, what do we believe in, will be clear to you. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is what is the importance of mains answer writing for your UPSC. Now, out of 2025 marks, we have 1750 marks that are allocated for your mains. So whether you get into that final PDF or not is dependent upon your mains score. Only the ranking within that PDF is determined by the interview marks, but the majority of the section of where you score for your mains preparation is from your mark sheets that you get in your mains. And the thing is that mains answer writing is something of an acquired skill. If you're somebody new who's just started preparing for UPSC preparation, then I think writing answers from day one is very important because it reorients you of how do you study for UPSC. So when you know that what are the things required in a mains answer, you'll make sure that you study only that portion for UPSC. People, a lot of my students usually earlier they used to spend a lot of time reading editorials, big editorials from two, three newspapers, and ultimately what happened was not too much of that information was useful in mains answer writing. So one, you're wasting time, and second, that information is not being used in your mains answer. So in order to avoid these things, it's important that you understand how do you prepare, how do you study, and you acquire the skill of answer writing right from the beginning. So that is a very important thing. Second is writing with quality answers in time limit. So you have got this 3 hour deadline when you're writing your mains answer. And if I give you the paper to write the whole day, you might write very fantastic answers. But writing under that time pressure, writing under that stress is something that actually brings down your quality of answer writing. So a lot of students they say that, ma'am, if I take 10 to 15 minutes for a 10 marker question, which usually should be done in 7 minutes, then I write really good answers. But when I do it under timed condition, my quality of answer deteriorates. That is something natural, but how do you fight that is with a lot of practice. So because when you write a lot of answers, you kind of create a lot of structures in your mind. You know what to write in the introduction, you know what to write in the body, you know what to write in the conclusion. So these things actually start coming automatically to you, and slowly you start improving the quality of your answer. So all this happens with writing answers and writing more answers. Third is developing tricks and tips. Again, I told you when you write a lot of answers, you start, formatting structures. Like if it's a introduction question, say if it's a polity introduction question, then the best introduction I think would be you start with the article number or you start with the definition of the concept. If it's economics, maybe bring in some facts and figures from your economic survey, your budget, or some of those indexes like you've got indexes from IMF, you've got indexes from your world development report. So all these kind of reports can be useful in your economics answer. If you're talking about ethics, then I think definition and example is one of the easiest and most effective way of starting your answer. So these kind of tricks, they actually develop over writing your answers for a long time. They're not something that you just get when you start writing your mains answer after prelims. It does not happen like that. And finally, revise and learn. Like I told you in the very first point, you start changing your study patterns as per the mains answer writing. So when you write your answers, I think you'll be able to remember facts and figures, which are usually very difficult. They'll be much more easier for you to grasp and for you to learn. So if you have trouble remembering dates or something like that, then maybe start writing answers on that. If you had troubles with articles, start writing answers on various articles. You'll start remembering them much more better. So it's about getting that hard work. Smart work is necessary. Smart work is how do you write your answers, how do you reduce the time that is and effort that is given in reading and referring to sources. But there is some amount of hard work that is required. One more thing here, see, if you're a newcomer, then I would recommend you to start answer writing right now only. And if you're somebody who's targeting for 2023, I think you guys should also start writing your answers from this time frame only, because see, next year, somewhere around Jan and Feb, the pressure for prelims will start from your March. At max, you can continue answer writing with Feb. And right now, you'll have to divide your answer writing between both the areas, your general studies and essay, and your optional. And even for optional, I would recommend you to at least attempt last 10 years of paper. So there's a lot of answer writing that is happening here. So I think you need a good amount of 6 months where you can effectively write your GS answers also, your essay also, and optional also. Because when you'll be writing your means related answer writing after prelims, then you'll just have a window of 3 to 4, at max 4. 4 is also nowadays a very hectic thing. So at max 3, let's say. So in those 3 months, it will be very difficult for you to write more than say 20 to somewhere around 12 to 20 for GS, and again equivalent for optional, because you have to learn and revise also in that period. So if you want to have a good amount of notes created through answer writing, this is the time that you start with. Next is what kind of answers are actually expected out of UPSC. The biggest myth that a lot of people who start with your UPSC preparation, they think that the person who's topping the examination or who's getting good marks in mains is somebody that they know answer to each and every question in the UPSC GS paper, and they write it very perfectly. See, it's not knowing everything that gets you through in mains. The thing is, whatever information you have, like, I'm not saying that you'll be blank, completely blank for every question. If you're studying very religiously for this paper, you might have few information on every topic. So the thing is, how do you utilize the information you have? How do you bring in examples? How do you bring in case studies? How do you connect those questions to reality? That is more important. Bringing in an application is more important when you're writing your UPSC answers. So that thing is something that comes with practice. Knowledge and remembering facts, that you can do with your rote learning also. On a daily basis, you pick up notes and keep on revising them. That is done. But how do you replicate that information on paper is something that comes with practice. So utilizing your potential. If you know that structuring is not an issue for you, then maybe you can utilize that as your potential. If you know that maybe you're good at making diagrams or something like that, then what you can do is you start practicing it in your answers on a daily basis. So that will get much more strengthened. Even your limitations, like some people, they're not able to structure their answers nicely. So knowing those limitations on a period where you can make changes in your answer writing, like after prelims, if you start recognizing your limitations, then it'll be, I think, a bit too late, because at that point of time, bringing in change in your answer writing can be very difficult. I had a couple of students last year who were giving their means for the first time, and that person actually started answer writing. I think he was not expecting that he would clear prelims. So he started answer writing just after prelims. So he had a lot of potential. But the thing was the change in his answers. Like usually when we have a mentor related talks over a long period of time, what we do is, like, you're writing a paper, then we have a call, we give you feedback. And then you'll have a window of 1 to 2 weeks where you can go through the paper again, bring in the change, and next time we'll see a difference in your answer writing, right? So that improvement from paper to paper comes when you have some good amount of time in between the papers. But in case of your mains answer writing, when after prelims and between mains you're writing answers, see the amount of time that is there between papers, it reduces a lot. So changes that come in your paper, that becomes very, very less frequent. So we do not see a lot of shift in your answer writing in that window. Only a few amount of change. If you've done a good amount of practice beforehand, then I think the changes will come. But if you're starting a new, then I think you should have a good amount of period where you actually start answer writing and bring in change in your answer writing. And last point we've already discussed, like getting the maximum result out of whatever minimum information you have. And I think that is the best strategy, because even the mains question nowadays are becoming very, very random. And if you're able to connect those questions with some application, with some reality, ground related issues, then I think you get good scores. So that thing also, that, fast thinking, that also comes with your mains answer writing when you're writing a lot of answers. So that thing is also developed over a course of time. Again, I've been in contact with students for last 3 4 years, and I've gone through their mistakes. Like, there there are different categories of students: somebody who's starting completely new, somebody who's given 2 3 mains and have some bit of an idea, and then there are good amount of toppers who've scored really, really well, but they've just been left behind with, say, 5 6 marks in their final mark sheet. So even those kind of students I've dealt with. So out of these three categories, like if I look at some paper which get usually less marks in means, I think these are the main things that are issues in their answer writing. Number one, not starting your means answer writing on time. If you think that there's a prelims magic, that as soon as you qualify your prelims and you start writing answers, then that does not happen. You will not get good quality answers in that small amount of window. We talked about that in the last slide, that we need some amount of time where we can apply whatever talks as a mentor that I give you, whatever advice that I give you, you can replicate that in your paper. So you need some time. So that is, I think, one of the biggest mistake that student makes. Second is, a lot of students. I remember there was one student of mine. That person, what he used to do is he used to divide the GS paper into 2 days. Like he'll do one paper, one half paper one day, like 10 questions one day, and 10 questions second day, and then he would submit the GS answers to me. And also he would take like 5 hours for one day. So in total, 3 hours of paper that person would do in 10 hours. And and then he would ask me for reviews. I was like, see, even if I give you the reviews on this paper, I think this is completely useless, because UPSC gives you 3 hours of time, and if you're writing that paper in 10 hours, then I think, no matter how good answers you're writing, it is completely useless, because you will not be able to replicate that in your final sheet. So start writing your answers. Start practicing answers from the very first day by timing your answers. That is very important, because that is the major factor which actually affects the quality of your answer. So that is also one of the biggest mistake. Third is, people think that handwriting does not matter, arrangement does not matter, as long as the content is right. It's all right. I think content is the first thing, but don't overlook proper structuring, proper diagrams. A good representation of your paper, I think, is necessary to score good marks in UPSC. Because see, if as an examiner I also look at a sheet which is completely messed up, I'm not able to read the points properly, I can get irritated by say 10th or 11th question. And if there's a sheet which is properly presented, then at least I'll not deduct their marks for poor presentation. Even 1 and 2 marks, if you're getting reduced because of your poor presentation, I think that is not worth it, because 1 marks is something that you fought for in your prelims. So losing that over some stupid presentation, I think that is not worth it. Another common mistake is writing what you know. Obviously, you'll write what you know, but there's a difference here. when you're writing your UPSC mains answer, you have to write what the question is asking. You have to change the tone of every information that you have regarding that content into the tone of what the question is asking. Like, it's not just a matter of writing, say, you have a scheme, you define the scheme, you write the features, you write the pros, you write the cons, and you write the way forward. Not every question is written like that. If there's a tone of the question, you have to restructure your headings, the tone of the answers, as per the question that is there in the paper, not following a common structure of pros, cons, weakness, strength, way forward. This will not work, right? So that is also a big mistake, and that is why you get loose structures when you're not practicing properly. You'll sometimes people miss out their introduction, very generic introduction, way forward, or your steps that can be taken to improve the situation, completely missing. Examples are missing in your answer. So these kind of things, I think, is a very big concern who does not practice answer writing properly. And finally, writing journalist answer. See, the level of competition has improved, and it has exponentially increased in your mains preparation. So, you need certain specific points, you need certain enrichment areas in every paper where you can get that edge over one copy or your opponent, right? So that kind of thing is very necessary, and you cannot really just write general answers. You need certain datas, you need certain reports, you need certain commission recommendations. These kind of things are necessary. Diagrams are necessary in your answer to get that edge, or to get that 2 3 marks extra than somebody else, right? So these are the things that every student who's actually preparing for 2023 should aim at. And I think these are the things that we also look for in the copies, and we actually guide them through. Again, the examples of poor and good answers, we've talked about that in the previous slide also. Like, a poor answer would be written in an editorial way where you just express one viewpoint and keep on repeating that in different way or in different formations. Second is, your headings and subheadings will not be clearly drafted. Then you might have a loose structure, poor introduction or something like that. You might have poor content. Again, like I told you, enrichment material for every subject is necessary. Then good answers is something that will be written proper points. Even if you're somebody who has a habit of writing in paragraphs, the thing about points is that even in paragraphs, I need different number of dimensions. So even if you're able to bring that variety of definitions in paragraph format, then well and good. But I don't need just 1 point or significantly 2 or 3 points throughout the answers. That is something that you need to focus upon. You'll have good headings, subheadings, the structuring of introduction, body, conclusion will be done properly, the content will be of good quality. So these are the things that are related to a good answer writing. So, and these are the things actually we'll be preparing and we'll be working upon with you guys on call after call on every test. So that is our ideology when we talk about means answer writing for UPSC in civil study. Now, for from the side of civil study, what we are introducing is we are introducing a super 100 batch, and it will be under my mentorship for 2023. And it is an exclusive group of just 100 students. You'll have some 24 full length tests. There'll be 12 sectional, which will be spread over a period of 8 months, so that you have proper time to write answers, evaluate them, and bring change into that. So that is one thing, that you'll have enough time to practice, and you can spread it out. You can include your optional also, you'll get that time also. So I think that format is good. The other 12 will be FLT, which will be available next year after prelims. So once you clear prelims, you'll have ready-made 12 tests that will be available to you. There will be one-on-one discussion, like after every paper, you get the evaluated copy, you contact me. You can even email me, or I'll give you my number also. And then we'll set a time, and then we'll get on call and discuss the whole paper. Like, any doubts that you have, any feedback that I feel is important in your paper, I'll give that. And anything that you want, we can discuss on that call. So that happens after every call. Now, another thing here is you'll get admission into Civils Daily Habitat platform where you can contact your peers as well as your other mentors. So that is also there. You'll get the model answers for these questions also. And lastly, you'll get the Civils Daily magazines, current affair magazines, which will be available for 1 year period. And so that was about your program. And again, I think it's important that you understand that we've been working on our mains program very effectively. Like for the last 2 3 years, the quality of mains question that have come in our test series have been of a very good level, and they've been getting very closer to UPSC examination. Like you see a message here from one of our students in Smash Main program who had actually said that the AUKUS question, which was there in your UPSC question paper last year, was also there in our FLT paper. In fact, it was in the third round of your GS3 paper that we had placed this question also. Another thing is our ethics paper is also something that is of good standards, and people have been able to practice well with our ethics paper. So this is not something that I am saying. These are actually messages from our student only who've experienced our mains answer writing and who've benefited out of it. So the level of questions, I would say, in our test series is very good enough. And since you're somebody who's starting for 2023, we would make sure that initially you get easy, then medium, and then hard answer questions, because we want a progression in your answer writing to improve. It's not directly that we give you very hard questions, because then you'll not be able to really improve. So the quality content wise, I think the papers are very good. And also you get one-on-one mentorship after every call where you can discuss any of your concerns, right? Lastly, again, few of the things about my students from the past. Like I've had students, there was a student who got selected as a Deputy Superintendent of Police in Gujarat. She's actually preparing for this year's UPSC prelims also, and we'll be connecting after she gives prelims. And maybe I'm hoping that she'll clear prelims, and then we can start studying for mains also. Another student of mine had actually scored 113 in ethics. Now, this student was from Smash Mains actually, and he had scored 113 last year. And he was actually short of some 5 marks from the final list. He had appeared for interview also. So this year, he's also giving the examination. And the second message you see actually uh, uh, is he's saying that he's done the paper better than the last year for sure. So we're expecting that he gets better marks than 113. 113 is something that he got last year. So really hope that he actually clears the paper. Very hardworking guy. Um, and I'm really hoping that he gets through UPSC this time. So these are the things, some of the testimonials. If you want more testimonials, because if you're joining a year-long program, you would want proof of our performance, and that's completely justified. You can go check out our website, look at those testimonials, and then decide for yourself. So, guys, Super 100 batch under me, which will be starting from June. The first test is scheduled in June, and then we can have an year-long preparation for mains, where we learn to how to improve your technique of answer writing, structuring the answer writing. So this thing will be starting working early for your mains 2023. So thank you so much for your patience for watching this video. I hope that if you are planning to join any mains program, then you will consider Civils Daily, because we have been working really hard with respect to our mains performance, and the results are there to prove that well enough. And hope you'll be joining the program, and I'll be able to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.